Hello my friends, welcome to this video here where I'm going to be sharing with you some life-changing information that is going to help you realize that you already have the power to live the exact life that you authentically want to live. And you don't need to follow the pre-established systems and rules and beliefs of your family, your culture, your friends. You don't need to take somebody else's path in life. You are 100% totally free to take your own authentic path in life. And not only are you free to do this, but it is actually highly recommended that you do this, because then what will happen is you can then create a life that feels like it's a perfect match for you. It's like everything fits. You have the perfect relationship partner, or maybe you don't want a relationship partner. Maybe you want to be polygamous and have many different partners, but it's based on what you authentically want. You can have the business setup that you actually want, where your business feels like you're running it the way you want to run it. It's in perfect accordance with your lifestyle desires. You don't have to work at hours that you don't want to work. You can set up your life in such a way that is perfectly aligned with your authentic desires. Even in your health, in your spirituality, in your emotional state, you can literally feel joy and excitement and appreciation in every single present moment of your life. This is possible. However, there is an enemy here. There is someone is trying very, very hard to get you to not understand what I'm saying in this video. And I know that sounds a little bit sinister, like a conspiracy theory. No, it's not the president. It's not the mayor or the government. There's a force that I'm going to call it like a habitual tendency. It's a conditioned pattern, a way of thinking that you've absorbed from just the way you were raised, from your culture, your parents, your life experiences, has molded your mind in an unfavorable way, so that you feel like you have to do things in your life and you have to follow paths that you don't actually want to follow, because you think that that's the only way to get money, or to be secure and safe, to get happiness. You've been taught by very selfish forces. Now, again, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I just want to tell you like it actually is. Here in society, there is a lot of collective thinking that's going on, and many people share their ideas on the internet, in your friend groups, at school, at work. And when people are giving you advice or telling you what you should do with your life, or how you should run your business, how you should treat women or men, how you should date, how you should make your art, what food you should eat. A lot of this, there's a lot of advice out there. Lots of it is very well-meaning. A lot of people really are trying to help you. So I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. There are people out there that are actually trying to assist you along your path of growth. However, at the same time, there is an abundance of people who are not fully conscious of this truth that I'm going to be speaking about in this video, that you can do exactly what you want to do and create the exact life that you want to create in this moment here. Many people are not fully conscious of that themselves, so they perpetuate this unconscious mindset. It's really like a dream. This unconscious dream of like You have to follow a preconceived path, a certain a step-by-step path in order to get what you want in life. So for example, if you want to make money in your business, you have to use this specific marketing strategy. You have to message clients in this way. You need to post twice a day. You need to make these kinds of videos with this kind of hook in order to get more followers. So other people out there will tell you what you need to do in order to succeed in these variety of areas that I've spoken about: business, relationships, health, spirituality, etc. And they'll tell you, you need to do this in order to succeed. And what I've discovered in the last 8 years of full-time researching personal development and spirituality and personal growth and testing it on myself like a guinea pig full-time for the last 8 years. This is literally all I do. I don't work. This is my job. Full-time, I read books. I go out and I find new books, and I read many different perspectives, hundreds of different perspectives. I read Buddhism, Hinduism, I don't want to list it all, science, law of attraction, history, personal development, all kinds of stuff, lots of different stuff. And what I find is that there is a lot of conflicting opinions. The Hindus will tell you to do this, but then the Christians will tell you to do this if you want to be happy. Same with relationship coaches. Some will tell you to do this, tell the girls they're stupid. And then other relationship coaches will tell you, be nice and be a stand-up guy, be a knight in shining armor. So yeah, there's a lot of conflicting evidence out there. What I've discovered is that most information is wrong. Yes, all perspectives have a partial truth. All perspectives have a partial truth. Yes, all perspectives have a partial truth. Yes, 100% all perspectives have a partial truth. But if you only have one perspective that maybe you heard from your friends, let's say about dating, let's use the example of dating. You have one perspective that you heard from this one YouTuber, or this one ideology, or this one sector of the thought space, the realm of ideas. If you only tap into one sector, the odds are your mind has the wrong conception of how the actual thing works. That's what I try to do here on this YouTube channel. Is I try to just open your mind to the possibility to get you to perhaps just consider that the way that you think reality works in the domains of business and dating and health and happiness and spirituality and morality and ethics and creativity and how should I live and government. What I'm suggesting, it's just a suggestion that I'm making. Perhaps what you've been taught, what you've been told, what you currently think now is not actually how the actual thing actually works in experience. This is a very, very, very common pattern that is actually, our whole society is infected when you study many different perspectives and you just observe the patterns. This is what I do. I'm an explorer. I explore new perspectives. I go check around the corners to see, what is this thing? Let me go see how it works. What I've discovered, there are many, many people who proclaim to know how reality works, and they have a partial truth. They actually do have some truth in their perspective because all perspectives contain partial truth. However, in many cases, they also have many thoughts, ideas, conceptions of how the territory actually works. Their map is not fully updated. Their view of reality is not accurate. It's partially accurate, but it's not fully accurate. And you might say, well, Adam, what's the problem here? Because, yeah, I get it. No one can have a full 100% view of reality. So yeah, it's partial, and let's just accept that, right? No, wrong. Because when you only study one perspective, or you only look at this one paradigm, and you're not constantly opening your mind, constantly reminding yourself, oh, I don't know how reality works. I don't know. I have to throw out what was taught to me before. Throw it out. That's not actually how it works. What if reality worked a completely different way? That is the opposite of what I was told. And if I did the opposite thing, I would actually get way better results. So all of this is very, very related to the topic of this video here, because what I'm going to be sharing with you here, your mind is not going to want to accept it. Because it's going to sound counter. It's going to sound like the opposite of what you've been told and taught and what you've learned. So the gist of this video here is that it is extremely important for you to learn from other people and to study other perspectives and to have teachers and mentors and learn from them. Test their ideas. See if what works for you. You need to gather information and test in your experience to see what works. However, there will come a point in your personal development journey where it's time for you to actually go approach the girl. Or if you're a girl, your mind works a little bit differently. There will come a time in your personal development journey where it's actually time to actually go make that marketing piece for your business, or to make that song, to make that piece of art. There will come a time in your personal development journey where it's time for you to actually sit down and do the meditation practice and to actually face life head on in your experience, actually face life. And it's very easy to approach the present moment from your mind and not actually be there and authentically respond to the present experience. So let me make sure you're understanding this. So what happens is when you're learning, studying new perspectives, that's very important. It's good to read books and to expand your mind. New perspectives, very important. New perspectives, ones you haven't studied before. Go look at them. It'll expand your horizons. Otherwise, your mind gets rigid and stale and stuck, and it gets fixed. When you get rigid and stale and stuck and fixed, you start to die. Because all of existence is moving along. The river of life is flowing. If you're not flowing with it, you're going to get left behind the curve. So you have to be growing yourself. And that's what I talk about here on this channel. I try to give you practices, techniques, all this stuff, experiences that you can use. If you have been following along and you've actually been applying what I've been talking about, then you know this shit works, and it helps you to actually get ahead of the curve so that you can create the life you want. Okay, so when you're studying, what will happen is that your mind will be filled with other people's ideas, including me. I'm not exempt here. I've made videos filling your mind with my ideas. That's kind of the only way that we could even have a relationship here. That's the only thing I'm able to do. Okay, so this is happening on a big scale, right? There's influencers, people, teachers, always just filling your mind with their view, their model of reality. A big mistake that is very easy to make. I'm guaranteeing that you're falling into this trap right now. This trap is impossible to avoid. It does happen because the ego mind loves to take someone else's ideas and then to integrate it into itself, and then to forget that that is just an idea. And that at the end of the day, life is actually not about living according to other people's maps and models and using other people's systems for success and happiness. Yes, of course, other systems work and can help you amazingly. Like, for example, Buddhism is a system of meditation that I've used a lot in my life, and I've followed the system. I followed my teachers and I've used it, and it has worked amazingly to improve my mindfulness, my presence, my appreciation of life, my groundedness in the moment. So in this example, following the system actually helped me. So yes, but there comes a time in my personal spiritual journey when I'm actually, let's say, talking to a person or making a video or I'm just living my life, where I have to throw away all preconceived ideas. Let's break this down. The word preconceived, what does that mean? That means that before this moment has appeared here, there was an idea that was like pre-thought of by someone else. That it's not applicable to this moment here, because this moment, this now moment here, this moment is fresh. You can't apply a model that has been created in the past by someone else in a past circumstance to work with the energies and the atmosphere and the sensations that are present here in this moment. There comes a point in your personal development journey where you have to throw everything out. And you just have to relate with life directly. So good teachers, especially spirituality teachers, are ones that will remind you constantly not to cling to the words I'm saying, but actually to throw the words out and just be yourself. This is a very deep teaching. There's actually layers to what I'm saying that go so deep that you don't get it yet. And I'm sorry to say, it's not because you're stupid. You're very intelligent, but there's a certain depth of experience that is required in order to apprehend what I'm saying fully. And even I don't fully get it. Like, I'm still learning every day. I'm not saying I'm the sage on the mountaintop. I'm just unraveling this rabbit hole for myself, and it keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. And I've seen how deep it goes, to the fact that I know that you don't fully get it. The deepest spiritual teaching, or one of them at least, is to be yourself. This sounds a little bit weird because in a sense, Adam, I already am myself. How do I be myself? This is like, it's so vague that how do I even apply this? What do I mean, be myself? So, excuse me. Be yourself, what that means is that in society, in your life, other people will come to you and tell you how life works. And you have to take what they say with a grain of salt. Now the deep problem is that there have been beliefs and ideas that have been installed into your mind when you were very young. This was before you were even able to think of whether the ideas that were being installed or not made logical sense or not. So a lot of ideas, beliefs you have about money, about sex, about love, about food, about how you should walk, how you should live, how you should be, how you should treat other people. A lot of these come from your parents, from your teachers, and a lot of these are pre-installed before you're even able to make sense of it. So when a human being is very young, their mind is like a sponge. They just absorb all the beliefs and ideas from their environment. And our environment, I don't know if you've checked, I don't know if you've looked around recently, not very healthy. Many people are just living lives of quiet desperation, and actually most cases of loud desperation, where people are fighting each other, clawing, they're angry all day, sad, they're lost, craving, they don't know what they want. People are out of alignment with their soul. They're living on someone else's path, living someone else's dharma, someone else's credo. They're not listening to themselves. They don't trust themselves. They don't even know themselves. They don't know who they are and what they want. They're chasing external things. They're distracted. They're depressed. This environment is what taught you what reality is and how it works. Your worldview, what you think the earth is, what you think science is, what you think religion is, what you think happiness is, what you think you are. This fucked up, toxic environment pre-installed these beliefs into your mind. That's why you have the shitty results that you have now in your life. That's why you struggle so much with life and you fight it. And you don't like it, and you're dissatisfied, and you're always fighting your own mind. Yeah, maybe you've been doing some personal development work, maybe you've been meditating, and you understand what I'm saying. You're agreeing with me. You're saying, Adam, you're right. This is a very toxic environment. So how do I use this information now to improve my life? Well, first of all, it's very, very extremely important to understand. Do not be so trusting of other people's ideas that you watch on YouTube, that you hear from your family, your parents. When they say something about money and how money works, you should be immediately skeptical of what other people tell you about what life is and how life works. You should be immediately skeptical because most people, their lives is not working. Our society right now, a lot of people, it's not working, okay? Sure, we have some redeeming qualities. We're doing our best. There's a lot of great people in the government doing great work. A lot of great teachers. We're really doing our best. But at the same time, we're like hanging on by a thread, okay? There's a whole underbelly of just people just secretly angry, violent, self-loathing, and depressed and sad and lacking in results in their relationships, happiness, and business and money, etc. This is why there's this general vibe of dissatisfaction. This is what the Buddhists called the realms of samsara, the realms of suffering. That's where you're living right now. That's where you live. That's where you live. That's your house. So in order to escape this, there's, first of all, it's actually not really about escaping it. It may seem like we have to escape it. It's actually not really about escaping it. It's a lot about understanding it and embracing it and understanding it. Because when you understand the patterns of what is creating suffering in your life through questioning, meditating, experiencing your own mind, this is very important. You need to experience your own mind, be distracted and be angry and be dissatisfied. You have to experience your own mind, be dissatisfied for many, many hours so that you can start to unwire and uproot these deep beliefs that have been deeply implanted in your mind. Because here's the thing, guys, here's the honest, unfiltered truth. This whole situation that I'm explaining here about your mind being filled with bad beliefs and they're deep in there. They're so deep in there, you don't even know they're there. They become the lens that you're looking out from. You don't know those beliefs are there because you're looking through them. Every new piece of information that you absorb from the environment, you're using that preconceived lens to judge whether this is good or bad information. But the lens you got is bullshit. The initial imprinting that you got from your culture and your parents when you're very young, bullshit. And yeah, there's partial truths in all perspectives. But what I've found time and time again is that when I'm trying to grow myself in my business, I'm trying to grow myself in my relationships, in my happiness, I found time and time again that the things that culture generally believes about how to succeed in this area, the things that culture believes is exactly wrong. Like, perfectly wrong. Like, almost like someone took the exact opposite of how to succeed and then and taught it to everyone. Someone took the exact way to succeed and flipped it on its head so that it's reversed, so that it's the exact wrong thing to do, and then taught that to you as if that was the right thing to do. For just as a practical example, with dating, a lot of people will tell you if you want to be attractive to women, you need to have redeeming qualities. You need to be a valuable man. You need to build yourself. You need to work. You need to improve yourself. You need to have a good job. You need to be valuable. You need to have something to offer. You need to demonstrate your value so that women like you. Yeah, you know what? No, actually, unfortunately, it's literally the opposite. That mindset is only for, I want to say, betas, and I don't like using this language, it's kind of demeaning, but that language is only for men that are not high value. Because the real way to have an abundance of options in your dating life so that you can have a successful dating life and you can have what you want in your life, that's what this video is about, you need to do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. Instead of trying to prove your value and to prove your worth and to show how cool and good you are, instead, do the exact opposite. Make fun of yourself. Be an idiot. Go to a club and start making fucking velociraptor noises and start fucking flying, I don't know, flap your wings and fly around the club. And do cartwheels and fucking insult people and compliment people and pick people up and spin them around and do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to be a good, you don't have to be this image of what other people told you should be. You, actually, what you need to be is free. Free to do what? Free to do what, Adam? Free to be yourself and to do what you actually want to do. Now, very important. Does this mean, Adam, I can go rape women? No, that doesn't mean that. Adam, what if my authentic self wants to murder people and take my AK-47 with hollow point rounds and go into a school and shoot up the entire school and all the little children and all their brains splatter all over the walls? Should I do that? Am I allowed to do that? You said I'm free. At that point, you got to really make a distinction here between acting from a place of deficiency or acting from a place of fulfillment. Very important distinction here. When you're acting from a place of deficiency, so those people that go shoot up schools, they're acting from a place of deep lack and sadness and lack of understanding what I'm saying here in this video. People who rape women and hurt others in society, they're not acting from the place that I'm talking about, from being fulfilled in the moment, being free to be yourself, they're not acting from that. They're acting from deficiency, lack, fear, and what's the word? Repression, anger. They're almost lashing out at the world because they feel like they're not fulfilled internally. So the key is to realize that you can be fulfilled internally in life. But you're not going to be fulfilled internally if you're living somebody else's path. Excuse the lighting, guys. The sun is setting. I'm filming this in late afternoon, so it's going to be a dark evening talk with Adam. You can't be free to be yourself if you always have this super ego, it's called in psychology. This like, a super ego is like this like self that is always thinking about what society thinks about me, and then you're always acting in a way so that society doesn't disapprove of you, or so that your parents don't disapprove of you, or so that women or men or your spiritual teacher or your friends don't disapprove of you. And this is slavery, because now you are selling your soul to other people's desires. Someone else told you that you should say this or shouldn't say this in a social situation. You're not allowed to say that on video. But you want to say that because that's an expression of your authentic love and celebration of being alive. You're having fun. When you were a kid, you would do this automatically. You would just have fun. But then when you were having too much fun or you were breaking the rules, your parents would come and they'd give you a smack, or at least my parents wouldn't, but you know, whatever. They'd give you a smack and they say, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop having fun. Follow the rules. Behave yourself. Stop bouncing off the walls, you know. Stop talking so much. Stop eating that," or whatever. And this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. Obviously, the kid needs to be socialized in some way. Of course, the parents are extremely unconscious because their parents were extremely unconscious and they have no fucking clue how to raise their kids at all. That's why all these kids are traumatized and sad. I have younger cousins and I watch my cousins raise them and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just like yelling at the kid's like 3. He doesn't know. Yeah, anyways. That's a side tangent. We don't know how to raise our kids in this culture because the actual individuals, the adults, are just big kids. They never matured their minds. They never did a lot of the practices that I talk about here on this channel, the main one being meditation, studying, expanding your mind. And the main thing that keeps people unconscious is thinking that society has like got reality figured out already and like we're doing a good job. You shouldn't have that view. You should think society is like hanging on by a thread and nobody has any fucking clue at all what is going on, how to live or how to be happy or what we should do or how we should structure it. Now that doesn't mean you be arrogant. It doesn't mean that. You still be humble, and there's many systems that are in place in society, like our school system, our law-making process, the police force, the roads. There's many complicated, complex systems that are very beautiful and have taken hundreds of years to evolve, and they're there for a reason, and they're actually extremely intelligent. So I'm not saying society is like, total bullshit. There's a lot of very, very intelligent systems that work extremely well, like the airport, the school system is, doing okay, not really, but the roads, there's a lot of the laws, the government, the police, a lot of stuff is working well. Okay? So I'm not saying you need to be arrogant, but you also need to have this skepticism of like, if someone else is like telling me how I should live or what I should do or how I should behave, I need to be vigilant. And I need to remember that what I want to do is king at the end of the day. So before the sun completely sets and I'm totally in the dark, let me finish by giving you some practical examples for what all of this means and how you can actually use and apply this in your life. So you can have anything you want in your life by just being yourself. Do the things the way you want to do them. So I have a whole video called Stop Copying Others, where I give probably 20 examples in detail for every single way that being yourself can get you better results in your life. I talk about when you're getting dressed in the morning, when you're running your business, when you're in your relationships, detailed examples of how to be yourself and not always follow other people's opinions. Yes, the content in the video does repeat itself sometimes because these messages are so deep that you don't get it the first time because it doesn't, I'm talking about stuff that's deeply imprinted in your subconscious that takes years and years and years and years to unravel. So what I'm saying, the action step in this video is be you. Don't take actions because someone else wants you to or doesn't want you to. Do what you want to do. It's very simple, but it's also very difficult because you'll see in your own life, there's like emotional hang-ups that you have, but you know, what if I tell my parents the truth about what I want to do with my life, they're going to disapprove of me, and am I strong enough to deal with that? In the past, maybe you haven't been. So you have to actually mature yourself in order to be yourself. And the last thing I want to talk about is knowing yourself. So being yourself, the way you actually do this is you just be authentic with what you want, but at the same time, you need to understand that you just, it's so complicated because personal development is just like, because when you tell people to be themselves, they're going to be their unconscious self. But be your best self, but then at the end of the road, you have to realize that even the unconscious parts of you are beautiful and you can accept and own those as well. And then they get transmuted into light and love, and that they actually add to your perfection. Your imperfections actually add to your overall perfection. So how do I explain these ideas to you? It's impossible. I could be here, the sun is literally setting. I could be here for 3 hours. But, okay. So I want to complete this message here so that it's completed, so that we got a nice bow tie around it so you actually have something to take away. The main thing I want you to understand is that you don't have to do what other people tell you to do in your life. You can do what you want to do. You can set up the life that you want. You can set up your business the way you want to do it. You can do marketing. You can sell your product the way you want to sell it. You can date girls or date guys the way you want to. And you also just generally want to be considerate that you're not hurting other people in the process. So there's two types of hurting other people. There's hurting people's unconscious feelings. So there's two types of hurting other people. One form of hurting other people isn't actually hurting them, but it's just making them a little bit uncomfortable because you're kind of forcing them to move out of their comfort zone with the way that you're being. So when I come on this video and I'm swearing and I'm being all crazy and stuff, I don't really consider that hurting people, because I'm actually helping people to kind of not be so rigid and like attached to their security and their comforts. I'm kind of pushing them out of the comfort zone gently as best as I can. And I don't do it perfectly. Sometimes I go overboard. The other type of hurting people is when you actually do something that just causes harm to another person because you're being selfish. You're not considering their needs. That's the other type of hurting people. So you want to be smart to distinguish when it's the right time to not care about what other people think and to just be yourself fully. That's normally when you're in your heart. You're following your authenticity and you're following your highest excitement. You're following your intuition. That might require you to say no to many people. And that might hurt their feelings temporarily. But overall, when you follow your authentic path that you really genuinely want in your soul, that will actually be of a higher good for all people. So you can say no to people and you can hurt people's feelings a little bit, but as long as you're following your heart's path, you're following your own credo, you're following your intuition, your own style, your own way. Okay? The other form of hurting people is when you're so self-absorbed and you only care about your own selfish desires that you're willing to sacrifice other people in the process. Like, I'll just have sex with all these girls and I'll just not care about their emotions, and I'll give them diseases and shit and leave them stranded on the road. See, that's another form of being selfish, which is not wanted. So what I'm talking about here is conscious selfishness, where you be yourself and you follow your path because you know that your dharma, your path, will be of greater good for all beings. All right? And that's a great way to end this video. So practically speaking, so you're not left with a bunch of platitudes, in your life, just let this message settle a little bit. Let it settle. Really integrate what I'm saying and just watch yourself throughout the day doing things that are inauthentic because you're afraid of other people judging you, or not thinking that you're professional, or not thinking that you're cool or attractive. Watch when you do stuff that's inauthentic out of lack and need. And instead, try to bring an attitude of celebration to every single present moment, where this moment, exactly as it is already fulfilled. Even though it's dark outside and you can't see my face probably at all, still, this present moment, exactly as it is an end in itself. It's not a means to an end. This is very important. You will become very inauthentic if you start living your life where every single moment is a means to an end. Where you're putting off happiness. Excuse me. You're putting off happiness to the later moment. You're exercising so that later other people will approve of you. You're working so that later you can make money and be happy. So don't do that. Don't defer your happiness to a later time. Realize that this is the only time. This time now, that's literally the only thing that exists. When are you going to be yourself? When are you going to have the life that you want to have? When you have the money that you want? When you have the girl that you want? No. You're going to have the life that you want now! When else are you going to have it? You're going to celebrate and appreciate and enjoy life now. Not later. You're not setting up to be happy later. That would be acting out of deficiency. I'm not happy now, so I got to set myself up to be happy later. And then this breeds fear, attachment, neediness, and scarcity. Because if happiness isn't present and it's out there in the future, it's very fragile and volatile, and you're afraid of like all the things going wrong. Now you're just controlling and needy and weird and afraid. Maybe I can turn my flash on here so you can see my face. All right, guys, I turned my flash on. I don't know if this is even helpful. Oh my God, it's so bright. Yeah, so you can act out of deficiency, which is what most people do, or you can act out of fulfillment, already being satisfied in this moment. I'm already good. Now is celebration time. Let's have fun. See there? Now I'm free. I can say whatever I want because life is literally a dream. Now is empty. It now is eternally present. Now never dies. It's always changing. It's always flowing. It's never solid and stuck and still, but now is always here. And it's free to express authentically the way now wants to authentically be. So when I'm talking about being yourself, I'm talking about allowing the internal creative potential within you to be itself through you authentically, by not letting your ego mind, which is all these other people's ideas that they told you who you are and what you should do and how you should behave, not letting those ideas deter you from living from your body, being in the moment, celebrating here. When I'm talking about being yourself, I'm not talking about being the person that you think you are. I'm talking about being the self. But no, your mind doesn't get that. You don't get that. Pretend I didn't say that. Be yourself, okay? And just let the natural flow of existence come out through you, and don't worry too much about what other people think. So a practical example would be sometimes when I'm in social situations, I will just squat down on the floor and start stretching my body on the floor like a starfish. I'll start rolling around and just stretching. See, most people would not do that. A lot of people are afraid to move their body in a weird way because other people might think they're weird. Start training your mind to not give a flying fuck about what other people think about what you're doing or what you're saying. So when you stop judging yourself, other people have no business judging you anymore. If I'm stretching, twisting my body on the floor but I'm like totally cool with it, I'm like not judging myself about it at all, other people will feel like, who am I to judge him? He clearly doesn't give a fuck. In fact, that's kind of an admirable quality. That actually makes other people feel more comfortable to be themselves. This is a night episode, guys. I've never done this before. This is cool. All right, so the video's getting a bit long. That's all I had to say. I took a little break from making videos because I actually was working the last month on my brand new website. It's called adammichelli.co. That website organizes all of my videos by category so you can have a much easier time becoming the best version of yourself. Go check that out. There's some free stuff on there. I got a free course. There's also a coaching engagement that I'm doing. Announcement, starting on January 15th, we're doing a brand new coaching engagement which is going to last the entire year. So for the whole year, I'm going to be helping people who want to take this information to the next level and actually want to embody it in their life with practices that actually work. So I've been studying this stuff for over 8 years, and I found that there's certain practices, mainly meditation, for how to actually embody the abundance that I'm talking about here. It's an internal shift. It requires an internal transformation. And what I found is that on this path, it is invaluable to have a guide or a teacher that knows how to help you. So that's exactly what I'm doing starting January 15th. For the entire year, you'll have an opportunity to have weekly live events with me where I'm helping people with their meditation. We're doing group meditations together. I'm showing you how to use your mind properly and how to manage your internal energy so that all of these teachings are not just ideas in your head. They're not just cool ideas, but they actually percolate down into your body and they actually become a part of you. So it's about embodying the consciousness through practice, and there are many pitfalls along the way. Millions of ways to do the practice wrong. Trust me, I know, because I've had teachers that have showed me the way, and I've realized, holy fuck, without these people, I would have been lost for 20 or 30 years doing the wrong thing. So that's what I'm trying to do here in this community. It's a paid coaching engagement. It starts on January 15th, and that is when actually there's a temporary price that you can only get for a limited time, because after we start on the 15th, I'm going to like double or triple the price, because that's what the program is actually worth. But if you wanted to get in early and you wanted a discount, if this is something you're really serious about transforming your consciousness in your life internally so that the external reality gives you what you want to have. The results in your life are not about what's out there, it's about what's in here. Shift your mind first, and then you can have the money situation that you want, and the relationship situation that you want, and the lifestyle that you want, where you can be creative, you can live on your terms, you can add value to the world. That's what this program is really about, but the way we get you there is by helping you master what's going on in here, your internal state. And we have many practices for how to actually do that I'll be teaching you live. You get to, talk to me, I'll keep you accountable, give you support, make sure it actually happens over the span of an entire year. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link below. There'll be a page. You can pay right on that page. Make sure you pay before January 15th, because that's when it starts. That's also when the price triples. If you have any other questions, you're not sure about this whole thing, send me an email at adam@adammichellicoaching.com. I don't mind answering your questions, clarifying things. We can even hop on a short call if you have any other questions. But otherwise, I'm really excited about that. Happy New Year, everyone. The New Year's coming. I got millions of new videos coming until I die. New videos all the time. Crazy shit. You won't believe the shit that I'm going to be talking about. It's retarded. People will come to my house and burn me at the stake, but I don't care, because the shit that I'm saying I think is true, and that's all that matters. All right, I love you guys. Peace. Take care. Bye.